Hi guys, this is my family therapy roleplay video. My name is Jeff Puckett. It's kind of awkward, but here we go. Hi guys, welcome. My name is Jeff Puckett. I'll be the therapist working with you guys on this recent endeavor. I wanted to go around the room and take introductions from everybody, so if you can do me a favor, we'll go one by one. Give me your name, give me your age, and your favorite pastime activity that you enjoy doing, if you don't mind, so I can better get to know you guys. Okay, thank you. Another question I have for you guys, and we'll again go around the room, is I want to know what it is that you think brought you guys here as a family, as well as what you want to get from these sessions individually and as a family unit. If you guys can each share that with me as well, okay? Okay, great, awesome. Well, something I'd like to do through this process is get to know you guys a little bit better, not just you who's present in this room, but I want to get some better understandings of the bigger picture of family. So I'm going to ask you guys some questions in regards to other relatives, grandparents and such that, that have meaning in this situation. So I'm going to jump through some of those questions with you guys here shortly, okay? Okay, great. Okay, so this is segment 2. This is where we have bickering parents involved during the questioning process, and it appears that they all like to be heard. They all have a lot to say, but they have a hard time listening to one another. So guys, it's really important. I know you guys have a lot to say here, and it's really important that not only do you feel like you've been heard, but it's also important for you to provide that same respect to each other when you're going through some of these questions. So a little activity that I have that helps in this type of situation is, this is what we call, it's a stress ball, but it's also going to be for today our talking ball. So what's going to happen is we're going to start here with you. You take the ball, and while you have that ball, we're going to do our very best to have no interruptions, no bickering, no arguing. We're going to save that for a later time, especially when we can maybe get the parents in here by yourselves, away from the children, and we can kind of hash out some of the deeper things. So let's start off with some questions there, but we're going to respect this talking ball. And so we're going to start with you, and what we're going to do is go through some questions and hit some sensitive spots, but there's got to be no interruptions, okay? If you'd like, you can take a mental note of what you'd like to respond to their responses, and that's great. But what we're doing is we're opening the door for open and valuable communication, not just through the individual, but through you guys as a family dynamic, okay? Okay, great. And then let's see. Segment 3. Okay, well, I think we've done a really good job at familiarizing ourselves with the situation at hand through everybody's perspective. I think we've made some progress on familiarizing ourselves with many of the aspects that pertain to what brought you guys here individually and as a whole. First thing I would really like to do is, with some of the concerns on the table, is as a family and individually, I want to create a safety plan in case we encounter any potential situation in the near future where something might go awry. And what we're going to do is we're going to build on that with different activities that we will engage in moments where safety is a concern, or where an action might be risky and potentially taken. So on this list, we're going to list those actions, but we're also going to list reach out points where each one of you knows specifically what to do in a moment type crisis like this, and what your best activated response is in those moments, especially if you're feeling isolated and alone, segregated in a sense. What can you do individually in those moments to adhere to safety, okay? Okay. Now that we have that safety plan in place for each of you, you guys can keep yours individually. We can have one on the fridge so that everybody is following the same type of protocol situation. And this is just to ensure safety throughout, okay? Next, I have a couple homework assignments that I want to send you guys home with that, one, is going to build on the cohesion of this family unit. Something I think is very important is that at least once a week, I think you guys should engage in a family night, whether that be an activity, whether that be going out to dinner together, or staying at home cooking a dinner together. But I think it's wise that it's all electronics put away, at least for an hour, maybe up to 3 hours, whatever you guys decide on that works well for you. Pick a night, and you guys do something really constructive and involving that's engaging with everybody. This is not the time that we're going to bring up issues from the past or bring up deep concerns unless that's something you guys are all on the table with and you feel that it's the proper decorum for sharing that type of conversation. What this is just kind of getting you guys re-implemented with each other, finding a way to bond on a different level outside of the stress and the chaos that might envelop, in these moments. Secondly, I think a good assignment for you as the parents, you guys need to separate from the family occasionally and have your own adult time where this is where your moment to speak about family issues is. Something I very much want to hit on is that it is not appropriate to include children in adult discussions. It is not appropriate to be engaging the children in ways that might be against the other parent, because you guys have to remember that you're a team. First off, you're a team as the adult parents in the room, and you're also the team that has to help bring this dynamic and structure together and hold it together as an entire family unit. So that's a family night one time this week. That's an adult parent date night, or whatever. You guys go for a walk, whatever it is, where you guys can engage separately from the children. And that's where you guys can really dive deep, if you need to hash out some of the concerns that are adult related and should remain adult. Okay. And then the last thing that you guys brought up, especially you, the mother, is that you feel really overwhelmed with the duties around the house and working the full-time job. This is a big issue in my home at times, and I tend to find myself on that same branch and feeling very overworked and exhausted. And something that works really well for me and my family is that we create a list of typical daily-like chores that need to be done on a regular basis. And from there, on the other side of the fridge, we have a sign-off sheet where every person in the household every day is required to be completing 2 chores, whether that be walking the dogs, whether that be unloading the dishwasher, whether that be prepping dinner or vacuuming. I mean, there's so many things that can be done, and that should be the standing rule so that everybody is actively engaged in the upkeep of this home, because it's not just your home. It's not just your home, it's everybody's home, and it needs to be treated as such. So what I want you guys to do as a family, maybe during one of those family nights, is create a list of all those chores that are important and that need constant upkeep, that cannot be just left on one person. From there, you guys decide, is 2 a good number? 2 seems to work really well in my family, and we have a family of 4. And so with 4 people in the house, everybody doing 2 chores a day, taking out the trash, the recycling, whatever it might be, that should be the standing requirement, is that everybody has to do 2 chores a day. Now, there should also be consequences with this if people are not meeting that expectation. If you're not keeping up with the chores, then maybe devices need to be taken away for a little bit, or maybe, restrictions or other things, lack of TV time. But there needs to be a reason to promote this activity and this engagement. So let's try that. So I've given you guys 3 assignments so far. I know that sounds a little daunting and overwhelming, but I think as soon as we start to introduce some of these new tactics into this dynamic, you guys are going to notice a lot of the stress and a lot of the burden shifting and decreasing in a way that makes this unit more functional. So do you guys have any questions for me at this time? Okay, great. Well, then what we're going to do, we're rescheduled to meet again next Thursday. We're going to meet at the same time. We're on a reoccurring schedule. And I want you guys to also kind of take some notes of what you want brought up in these sessions as individuals. And that way this will be our hashing ground. This will be where we can safely and freely discuss things without interruptions, without bickering, without arguing, without hostility. And this is our table where we lay those things out, we address them, we acknowledge them, and we come back together stronger than ever. Okay? All right, guys, I look forward to seeing you soon.